All right. Well, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to embed this, which is fun. Thanks a lot, YouTube, SciTube, whatever. Oh, well, if I jump scared you, then that means that my audio is working. That's good. All right, let's turn the music down just a little bit, just a tiny bit. Oh, that was a little bit too much. All right, I just want to have like something playing in the background, I guess. I can't hear the music. What? You mean you can't hear it anymore, or you could never hear it? Hello? One guide. Yeah. Yeah. Classic one guide. All right. I'm just going to leave it right there because that seems fine to me. I've got Shanaha here as well. Hey, Shanaha. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to. But I like this is gonna be a pretty informal thing where mostly gonna go over stuff that I like. I guess some people are gonna know, but for some people this is gonna be kind of brand new information, stuff that they have never done before. Today we're going to be going over a little bit of kind of let's see, like Babby's introduction to live managing a little bit, and mostly just how to do live managing and effectively communicate so that we're not having like constant menu simulator. When we do this, that's going to be the main thing here, is working out kind of the logistics of how live management is going to work, and then effective communication strategies so that when you tell me what to do, I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and I don't have to be fumbling around asking you questions, stuff like that. So effective communication strategies, and then the logistics of how we do live management in this league and in other leagues.
So Beebs doesn't look like an idiot on stream.
Exactly, and so that you don't look like an idiot on stream, because that's the thing. If you make me look and feel like an idiot on stream, I've got a lot of experience with this. I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna make it your problem. I will bully you live. This is not a joke. I bullied a manager into retirement. I actually did it. Don't fuck with me. I will do it to you.
Getting bullied by Beebs.
Ooh. Let's see. Well, I had a whole intro written and then I didn't even use it. I just meandered around. This is why match days are going to take 9 hours. All right, so let's see. I said, yep, okay, some live management tips and etiquette to hopefully make live management go quickly and smoothly, and then I'll open the floor for questions and answers regarding live management after I've gone through the different talking points. So the first thing that we're going to discuss is how instructions are relayed between the manager and me. So that is IRC. IRC, or Internet Relay Chat, is the only form of live management that will be accepted. No Discord DMs. No Discord DMs at all. Huh? No, no, you're not. Don't send me instructions in a cat box link. Do not send me instructions over Discord DMs. Don't even try it. I will not accept it. This is how live management is done in all Divegrass leagues. It's not just a VT League thing. 4CC does it. VGL does it. I would highly encourage that you go to the Implying Rigged wiki and go to the section on IRC. It's right there on the left-hand side of the site. Actually, I have it. Let me see if I can pull it up here. I have to pull up the window first. This is going excellently. Okay. There we go. Okay. So it's right there on the left side. You can see kind of about halfway down IRC. I would highly encourage you to go there, because that is going to have your that's going to show what am I saying here? That is going to show the network address, the channel, like the IRC channel that's used for live management, and then just a little bit about different clients and stuff like that. A lot of useful information. So I'd recommend that you go there. You can either go there on the left sidebar, or just search IRC in the top right, and that'll give you some information there. If you plan on live managing, it's definitely worth your time to get IRC set up, familiarize yourself a little bit with how it works ahead of time. That way you're not scrambling around the day of to figure out, oh, okay, how do I get signed into the right channel? How do I do this? How do I PM someone? All of these things are going to be good to do ahead of time. You don't want to be screwing around with that on the day of the match, because while IRC is user friendly, it is, I wouldn't say it's quite as user friendly as something like Discord. Like, it is command based, so you need to you need to know a little bit about what you're doing in it. And then let's see, the other thing that I had here was there are different IRC clients that can be used, and while all of them will have small variances in how they operate, they all perform roughly the same function. There are desktop clients like MIRC and HexChat, as well as browser clients such as Mibit, which we'll take a look at in just a moment. While the browser clients are allowed, like, there's no reason why you can't use it, I recommend using a desktop client mostly for stability purposes. That Mibit can sometimes have connection issues, and that's really not a good thing when you want to be in potentially instant and continuous communication with the streamer. Personally, I use HexChat. I find it to be stable and user friendly. Let's take a look at Mibit though, because that's what I had this pulled up for. We can, so you can see over here right underneath IRC there is a Mibit link, and you can just click that right there, and all you would have to do is put in whatever name you want. So I don't know. No. There we go. Yeah, sure. That works. All right. And then you hit go. All right. Perfect. And then you can see the list right alongside here. And the only thing, the thing that you would do then is, I believe you just click on them. You click on whoever it is that you want to, oh, for God's sake. Yeah, there we go. And then PM, and that's it. And then at that point you would be in a PM conversation with whoever it is. All right. So pull that back up. We will be coming back to that later for something else, but I think that, oh yeah, so yeah, why do we use IRC instead of a contemporary more contemporary software like Discord? Discord only allows one DM conversation to be open at a time. Discord DMs are also where a lot of non-tactics information is sent, meaning that it's much easier for your instructions to get buried underneath, I don't know, somebody's last second hype video, a fucking Catbox link with somebody's last second music export that they sent in. So it's not just to be assholes that it's done through IRC instead of Discord. Like there's an actual reason behind why it's done that way.
Discord DMs are reserved for ERP only.
Absolutely. Okay, now I think we can actually pull up a little bit of Pez here, because kind of ready to go through a little bit of pre-match setup. So there we go. All right, yeah, and I'm just going to go through a little bit of what my workflow is and what kind of information you can give to kind of make things go a little bit quicker and easier. So we'll pick our two teams. There we go, coach mode on. Okay, so we are now in what I would say is pre-match. So this we haven't actually gone into the game plan yet. In pre-match, the very first thing that you should do when you open up the private chat and DM and start the DM with me is say which team you're here to manage for. I know that sounds kind of like that sounds a little bit silly and a little bit simplistic, but I'm not going to be familiar with everybody and what associations, who is associated with what team. So that's going to be really helpful in terms of knowing where do I put your conversation on the stream, or on my screen rather, because I like to put the manager's conversation for the home manager on the left side and the away manager on the right side. That way they're underneath their respective teams. So hopefully that makes sense. Basically, it just boils down to please identify. It doesn't matter who you are. Just say which team you're here to manage. Before going into the game plan, I like to get the stadium balls and kits set up beforehand. So I know that for this tournament, all the stadiums are already pre-selected, but if you are the home team and you have a ball that you prefer, that'd be a good piece of information to get, right up front, right off the bat. And then kind of same thing with kits. That goes for whether you're home or away. If you have kit preferences that you want me to change before we go into the game plan is a good time to do that. And then let's see. The other note that I had here was if you have something specific like music requests, that would be best to be held until after the game plan stuff has been done. So like if you have a joint anthem or something that needs to play, that definitely wait until we're just about ready to kick off before you do that, because I'm gonna forget. And then let's see here. Okay. Now we're ready to go into pre-match, which hopefully. Oh, and then just for your information, in case anybody was wondering, these are not actual tactics. I've randomized all sliders and all of that stuff. So this is not revealing anyone's tactics right now. Let's see. if you have specific pre-match substitutions that need to come in, identify the player or the position that they're coming in for. That would be if something like if footedness matters, or if you have a player with a certain skill type that needs to come in at a certain position. It would be good to specify those by name. Alternatively, if you want to save some time, if all you care about is that I go in and put in whoever's your best condition non-metals. So put in your best condition arrow players outside of the metal positions. You can use the shorthand subs by condition. So subs by condition, in this case, if Bao Bao told me subs by condition, I would go in and just real quick, we can, that's basically just giving me a whole bunch of instructions all at once. So now I've got all of their best condition subs in without you having to say sub this player in for that player, sub this position in here. You don't have to do all of that unless it matters. What am I trying to say? Unless things like footedness and specific player skills matter in terms of who gets subbed in and who stays on the bench. So using that shorthand subs by condition will help a lot in terms of cutting down time. Another thing here that I already know that somebody is going to do, but try to keep it in your mind. Please try to use the in-game name of players. Even if you think that I know what the real name of the player is, I might not. So it's just easiest and quickest if you use the player's in-game name. I guess that's it. Yeah. Oh yeah. This is just for the sake of clarity. In this tournament, there are 10 rosters with 23 players each. So, I mean, you can do the math. That's 230 players. I'm not going to be able to know the in-game name and the real name of all of them. So it's much easier if you just use whatever the player's in-game name is. You can use shorthand. That's fine. Like, you can... let's see. You could shorten Tochigi Farmer down to Tochigi or Farmer or something like that, so that you don't have to write out the whole thing. But if you refer to that player by their real name, I might not know who the fuck they are. Okay. Next up, we'll hit set pieces. So set pieces are under player settings. So that'll be your long free kick, short free kick, all of that stuff. For this, it's much easier. There are certain things that are gonna be that are gonna be the same no matter what. If that makes sense. Like, anything that you have set on a metal, like if you have your long free kick and your PKs set on metals, that's never going to change. That's if you turn it in that way, if you submit it that way, then that's the way that I'm going to get it. The only things that will change is if substitutions are made. And you have them set on non-metals, which that's mostly going to be your corner kicks, left and right. What I find to be easiest is if you know at each of these set piece, if you know for each of these set pieces who should be taking them. Just type it out and then copy paste it into the chat. That way I can really quickly just go through and check and make sure that they are how you want them. So the example that I had here was well, let's see. Okay, maybe it would be better at this point to switch scenes real quick, because I did try to sort of put a little bit of production value into this, like a tiny bit. That way, hopefully it's not just like it's not just me sitting here yapping and making an idiot of myself. Let's see. I just need to see if I need to rearrange my windows here. Okay. Okay. All right. I think that is going to get us what we want here. So I'm now going to go into a PM with myself, and I've got all of this. I've got this information typed out here. All right. Well, it'd be ideal if that was the way that I formatted it, but it's not. So now I can go in here and I can see. All right. Long free kick on Boust. That's nice and easy. Short free kick, Fuamoko radio, free kick 2, Boust. And then this is the one where maybe it will be better, rather than putting it on a specific player, putting it on a position, because if you're having a set piece taken by a non-metal, there's a chance that they could be subbed, and if they're subbed, then obviously you don't know who's going to be at that position and you can't put it down. So in that case, it would be better to, if we wanted the left corner kick taken by the right back, or in this case the right side CB, we'd put RCB, not RB, but I had a different team in mind when I wrote this, unfortunately, so I did kind of fuck things up. But yeah, LB, and then for P kick takers we want okay, I put Kissel, but it is Kissless version. I was wondering, why do they have a player called For Kissel? But yeah, no, it's Scrolls. All right. Shanaha, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, we all knew this, don't worry.
Yeah.
Nothing new.
Yeah. Okay. So, but yeah, I said, yeah, notice how I use the position instead of the name for set pieces where there may be substitutions. For non-metals, it can be helpful to decide on ways to identify them by position rather than name, as you don't know who will be best condition on the day of. So in this case, like I said, we've got 3 CBs here. So if you need to identify the positions quickly, rather than trying to give me, it says, well, I got to wait until it scrolls. But okay, if you were trying to identify it's Moko Cover, rather than typing that out, you could identify her as RCB, or the right CB. So right CB, middle CB, left CB. These little bits of shorthand can help speed things up. Okay, other things that you can change are your man marking, your mark settings here, and then turning your fluid on and off. Very important, when you have finished your setup, when you've finished your pre-match setup, please say done, finished, all good, run it, something to that effect, something that tells me that you have finished. that you have finished giving me instructions. Even if I'm not done putting the instructions in, once you have finished giving me instructions, please say something to that effect. Done, finished, all good. That way I know, okay, once I've finished the list of instructions, that's it. There's no more coming. If that makes sense. Because so much of the menu simulator stuff that you see is just the streamer waiting for additional instructions, waiting for the manager to think about something, or it's a lot of waiting. And if you end your instructions with done, finished, all good, something like that, I know immediately, okay, we're good to go. Once this is done, we can move on. Okay, so we've got that done then. Let's see. Okay, we're moving on to the in-match section now, like the part that happens in match. I guess we'll just go ahead and kick off for this, because there is some part of this that's gonna be in game. So we'll just kick off the match and see what happens. Whoop, it's very loud. All right. Well, anyway, let me just turn that down a little bit. Okay, so timeouts. We'll address the timeouts thing real quick. There are two different types of timeouts. I'll list them and explain the differences now. The first type is a voluntary timeout. In each match, you get 2 voluntary timeouts. You do get a third if the match goes into extra time, but that's only if the match goes into extra time. This is also a rule that is specific to this league. In other leagues, you don't get that, but you do get the extra one for extra time in this league. A voluntary can be called at any point in the match after 15 minutes has elapsed, and you can. My God, are my system settings fucked up or something? Why is the sound so goddamn loud? Okay, sorry. Is it okay? Is it really? Was it really loud, or? You know what? We're just gonna roll with it. Sounded fine to me. Okay, for some reason it was really loud in my ears. I don't know why. But okay, so that was voluntary timeouts. Free timeouts is the second type. And obviously a free timeout is not counted toward your total allotment of timeouts. There are free timeouts taken at all scheduled breaks in the match. So that would be halftime, the interval between the end of regulation and the start of extra time, and then the halfway point of extra time after the 105th minute. So you get a free timeout there, but you also get free timeouts in the following situations. If you concede a goal, that's any time, even if it's before the 15-minute mark. If you concede a goal at any point, you get a free timeout if you want it. You don't have to take it, but you get it if you want it. If one of your players is really dead, I don't know that that's ever happened in this PES, maybe it has, but if your player is injured to the point that they will not return, then the game will pause itself, and at that point you get a free timeout to do, to rearrange your formation, change your sliders, whatever it is that you need to do. This is completely free changes. And then you also get a free timeout if one of your players is sent off. So it's kind of a similar situation there to if a player is really dead. At that point, the game, or at that point, you get a free timeout where you can change your formation, change your sliders, do anything that you need to do in order to deal with the new situation that you find yourself in, the 10-man situation. All right, so let's see. Okay, this is actually a good time to talk about concession timeouts, because if you are Corpo right now, if you're the Corpo manager, you've just been scored on, and so you want to be immediately thinking, do I want to take my concession timeout, and if so, what do I want to do? So ideally, you would be saying at this point, or sometime around during the replay, you would be telling me, hey, I want to take a timeout. You'd say timeout, and then assuming that you know what you want to do, which hopefully you do, you would be giving me that information as well. That way, just okay. That way, as soon as we get back to the sort of kickoff, so that as soon as we get back to the kickoff stage, I can pause, go in to the game plan, and start implementing the changes that you want. So it's a good thing that happened. It's a good time to talk about voluntaries and stuff like that. But the next section is just general timeout etiquette. Understand that while your IRC messages to me are instant, what you're seeing on the stream is on a delay, sometimes of several seconds. So just because I don't pause the instant that you have called the timeout doesn't mean that I haven't seen your call for a timeout. It may be that the game has already been paused and it's just on a delay. Also, for the most part, I try to avoid stopping for voluntary timeouts when a team has the ball in the attacking third of the pitch. You know, they're on an attack, or if a player is on a breakaway. As far as I know, there isn't any evidence that interrupting an attack by pausing the game affects play. Even though it doesn't affect play as far as I know, it does break the flow of the match, which ideally we want to avoid. If a voluntary is called in the middle of an attack or in the middle of a breakaway, I will usually let that attack resolve before I take the requested voluntary. So yeah, I mean, just so that you know, that's another reason why, even though you've called for a timeout, the game might not be paused immediately. If an attack is on, you're just going to have to wait and see how it resolves, and we can take it at the next opportunity. All right, now I've talked about that, but it should be said that if I do miss... Oh, that's right, I have to hit the thing. If I do miss a call, if you think that I have missed an instruction, you can highlight me. You can highlight me using IRC. I've never done this before. God, I hope it works. You should be able to, just by putting my name in, you should be able to highlight me. Okay, well, you can't see it, but Hex Chat is flashing on my taskbar, so it's letting me know, hey, you've been pinged, you've been summoned. So that's what you would do if you think, hey, he hasn't seen my message. Yeah, it works better on YouTube than it does on fucking IRC. At least that's actually highlighted. I can see that.
So live managing via YouTube then?
No, if you try to live manage over YouTube, I will kill you. Okay. So, I said it with pre-match changes, so I will say it again with respect to timeouts. When you've finished with your timeout changes, please say done, finished, all good, run it, something to that effect, even if I have not completed all of your changes. That's just to tell me that once the instructions that you've written out are completed, that's the end of the instructions and play can resume. It's very important because, again, like, it can be sometimes 10, 20, 30 seconds of nothing happening, just waiting for a manager to say, all good, like, we're done. And all of that stuff adds up. All of that little stuff adds up to breaking the flow of the match day, to just wasting everybody's time, and it's just not necessary. It's a super easy thing to do that will save everybody a lot of time. Let's see. Oh, okay. So this may be difficult to do, but I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna try and demonstrate what I'm talking about when I talk about poor communication and how effective communication can save a lot of time. So yeah, in the segment I'll discuss effective communication strategies that will convey what you want in a clear, concise way. First, we will look at an example of poor, confusing communication. Then we'll discuss why it's poor communication, and finally, we'll write the same set of instructions using effective communication techniques instead. This is not the scenario that I wrote up is not going to work because the team. Well, you'll find out why, but the scenario does not match the way that the game is going so far. All right, so the scenario is this. Let's see. We can actually just go on into the second match. All right. Okay, so the scenario is this. The team, in this case, Bao Bao, of the manager in question, has been defending poorly against Corpo. He would like to change presets to something more defensive, tweak the containment area slider from wide to middle, and move defensive line down by 2. He'd also like to sub out a CMF, move the CMF within the formation so that they're in a more appropriate spot, and finally have them man mark an opposing player. So this is a huge change. This is an example of not every kind of change that you could make, but this is a pretty extreme example when it comes to a timeout change that you would make. But I've set it up to kind of demonstrate, okay, here's how you would communicate that poorly. All right. So, as I'm going to be using the Mibit window as this manager that doesn't know how to effectively communicate, and then obviously I'm going to be myself over in HexChat. All right. So, I've just seen the timeout. I've hit pause. Okay. Now, I've just been highlighted twice because the manager has forgotten that just because the manager hasn't seen that the game is paused doesn't mean that the game isn't paused. He's on a delay. Okay, I want to make changes. I know that you want to make changes. That's why you called a timeout. So you don't have to waste time telling me that you want to make changes. I'm aware. Okay. So this is not a super unreasonable request. Let me look at my presets. But it'd be much better if you already knew, hey, what preset are you running, and you want to know what preset you want to go to. So I don't necessarily have a problem scrolling through your presets, but in this case it is kind of wasting time. All right. Okay, switch to preset 2. Okay. Switch to preset 2. No problem with this. No problem with this instruction. This is fine. Okay. 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 So now he wants to look at his sliders. So what that tells me is the manager not only doesn't really know what his presets look like, but he also doesn't know what sliders he's got set up for each of these presets. I'm not going to change anything. All of these will be exactly what you sent in, meaning that theoretically, if you wanted to, you could have your own version of Pez open with your export open, and you can go through your presets and see what it is, like what formations you have, what sliders you have set up. That way we don't have to be paused here on stream doing this. You could be following along. That way or you could just commit it to memory. Like, you made this export, so know what's in it. Okay, so now we have looked through his sliders, and I've lost my cursor. Where are you? There we go. Okay. All right. Switch area to middle. This is a terrible instruction, or it's a terrible way to say an instruction, because if you remember, what he's trying to accomplish here is he wants to move the containment area slider from wide to middle. The problem with that is that all he said is switch area to middle. So containment area, wide, middle. But attacking area, center, wide. So it's not immediately clear what the manager is talking about when they say switch area to middle. If I got this instruction in the middle of a match, I would have to then say to the manager, what did you mean by this? Did you mean you want to move your attacking area to center, or did you mean that you want to move your containment area to center or middle? Like, it could be worded in a more clear and concise way. So yeah, basically you want to avoid confusing instructions like that. Okay, so we've got him switched to middle, and then let's see what's he got to say next. All right. Okay. Drop the line by 2. Simple enough, no problem there. I've also done this on the wrong team. Oh my god. That's okay. Fuck everything. That doesn't actually matter. I'm just gonna very quickly go.
Just
but
like
nobody. Yeah, this is just like a real match. Okay,
Day.
but it's fine. All we've done is switch. Yeah, okay. Switch area to middle. Drop the line by 2. Okay, we're just gonna pretend that the line was up here. We're gonna move it down to 2. All right, so that's no problem. We've got everything figured out now. Sorry, I hope that doesn't confuse things too much. And then if you remember, the next thing that the next thing that this manager wants to accomplish is subbing out subbing out the CMF for someone on the bench. Like maybe they've for another CMF. Maybe they've identified that the CMF seems particularly tired, or something like that. Okay, sub Wincest for 1985. All right, nothing wrong with that instruction. But they also wanted to they also wanted to move the newly subbed in CMF within the formation so that they are in a more appropriate spot. So move her to the middle. Okay, so I will Shanaha. Are you there? Hello.
Yeah.
Where is the middle?
Between left and right. Duh.
Are you sure? Are you sure it's not between up and down? Because that could also be the middle.
I mean, it could be both.
The middle could be
Put it like
anywhere.
on the dot in the middle of the field.
Well, right. So that's geographic middle. So, my critique with this instruction is that there are at least 3 different things that the middle could mean. If you say move her to the middle, the middle, there is a middle between any 2 points. So there's an x-axis middle from left to right, a y-axis middle up and down, but there's also a geographic middle, which is right where kickoff happens, right there in the direct center of the field. So it's confusing when you use
of the screen.
You don't necessarily have to do that, but use relative directions. So up, down, left, right. Don't use words like middle, center. Use relative directions: up, down, left, right. You can also use you can also use what I would call like referential directions. So you could say okay. Move him to the left of Yobai slip. And so then I would know, okay, we're going like up here. Right? So that is much more helpful than saying something like move her to the middle. All right. So okay, so I'm just gonna, I wouldn't have any, I would have to stop the manager there and ask, what do you mean by the middle? Do you mean, so we're gonna kind of divine what the manager meant by that, and we're just gonna say that they meant geographic middle. All right. So then the next thing that the manager wanted to accomplish was was having the CMF man mark an opposing player. All right. So, no problem with that. Easy enough. Whoop. Okay. So, we've done that. And now we're sitting here. We're waiting. We're waiting because I'm assuming that any minute now more instructions are coming, and I'm probably asking the manager, are you done? Is that all? And then eventually they will say, okay, run it. All right. And then at that point I know, okay, we're ready to get back into the match. So yeah, obviously that's not effective communication. That took a really long time. Even if we hadn't had to wait for me to go over and basically play both parts of this conversation, that would have taken a really long time, primarily because I'm getting lots of small chunks of information. It feels like we're completing one thing, then I'm getting another little chunk of information. I'm getting another little bit of information, rather than getting one concise piece of information. So now what we're gonna do, because I'm gonna try and undo the things that I did there. Let's see. Just one. Okay. Yeah. All right. That's good. So now so we've undone that. Oops. Aside from the preset change, which I forgot because I'm stupid. What the hell was that? Oh, there we go. Oh no, we did that. Okay. So that's good. Now we're gonna play that out again, and we'll do it a little bit more. We'll do it a little bit more effectively that time, and show how we can accomplish the same things, but with a lot fewer and a lot more concise instructions. Timeout. Okay, so I've just seen the timeout. All right. Now. Okay, P2 switch to middle contain, drop DL by 2. So I've got the P2. We're already on middle contain, but pretend that we weren't. Dropping the DL by 2. Done. And so next instruction is and for Wincest. Okay. So we are subbing Wincest out for 1985. We are going to move Wincest up 5 ticks. Whoops. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3. We are going to have her mark Corpo Yearbook, which she's already doing, but we're just going to pretend that she wasn't. She is again. And we immediately know that we're ready to get back into the match because they ended with run it. So just condensing your instructions into shorthand, knowing what it is that you want to do before you call for timeout in the first place, that's how you prevent Menu Simulator. And a lot of it really does boil down to knowing where you are tactically and where you want to go tactically, if that makes sense. Like, preparation is a really, really big part of it. Let's see. Yeah, I just said know what you're running, know what you want to change, and cut out as much superfluous information as you can. Okay, so that's all that I had prepared. So I guess at this point I'll open up the floor to questions. If anybody has questions regarding any of the stuff that I talked about, IRC, if there's something that you want to know. Oh, we got it working on SciTube. Oh, bitchin'. Okay. Anybody? Does anybody have any questions? This is your chance. Anyway. Oh, okay. If the manager is being long, can I send you hentai? I mean, I guess you could. I would prefer I would prefer that you keep it professional on IRC, just because I would hate to miss your instructions, because I'm like, I don't know. Your instructions got buried under under a hentai link or something. Just to be clear, any changes can be made in both the voluntary timeouts and the free ones. Good question. Yes. Yeah, that is yes. Yeah, that is correct. Any changes, meaning we can change formations, we can drag things, we can switch your sliders, we can, pretty well whatever you want to do that we are capable of changing in the game plan can be done for both voluntaries and concessions or free timeouts. All right. Well, I mean, obviously, feel free to continue with any questions if you have them. Other than that, I hope that maybe you got something out of this. even if you're somebody who's done live managing before, maybe just like seeing it a little bit more from the streamer's point of view maybe helps a little bit in terms of help figuring out, hey, what's effective communication, what is helpful, what's not in terms of in terms of communication. Another thing, moving player wise, are units of length like player box acceptable? Honestly, maybe. Usually ticks are used. Ticks are so small though on PES 16. Like, we can show it back when we get back here. Like, I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with that, just because a tick is such a small unit. On PES 16, I think it is bigger on later versions, on 19 or. Wow, that was a great steal. on 19 and 21. But it's just such a small unit. Like, if you want to make any kind of substantial movement, because like, let's see, like that was a tick right there. It was just so if we wanted to move it, let's see how far 20 ticks is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, like that's ridiculous. You do not have to use ticks. Player boxes is fine. The big thing is just give me some kind of idea of how much or how little I'm moving them, because a lot of times I'll get move them up or move them left. It's like, how much? That's going to be my immediate question, is how much. And anytime that I have to ask you what you mean by something, anytime I need to ask you to clarify, that's when we're in menu simulator land. That's when we're sat here paused and nothing's happening, and the audience wants to kill all of us. So yeah, I mean, that's the big thing, is just give me some kind of an idea of how much or little I'm doing. Relative directions are fantastic. So for example, if you I don't know, let's say let's just move them out of here, but let's say for whatever reason you wanted to put Urso Bao up in a more forward position. If you said, all right, put Urso Bao between business and Yobai Slip, between them, that's a relative, like, I know what you mean by that, so I'd put them right there. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to use ticks. I think player boxes would be a reasonable unit of measurement, much more reasonable than ticks, at least for 16. I swear that ticks on 16 are way smaller than on 19 and 21. But yeah, I mean, the big thing is just consider what your instructions are, and whether they can easily be understood by somebody who is not you, if that makes sense. Like, you know what it is that you want to get accomplished, but I don't. I'm seeing your instructions for the first time, so you've got to make me understand what it is that you're trying to do. Hopefully that makes sense. Anything else? I apologize for how kind of meandering and like off the cuff this was. But like I said, I hope that it was. I hope someone got some value out of it. You did some hella scuff to these sliders. I know, that was the intention. Who's winning Copa America, Beebs? What is that? Okay, I saw Canada. Canada is really good at soccer, aren't they? A fight in PES 16? Actually, do you know the difference between drag swapping and click swapping yet, Beebs? Isn't it drag swapping doesn't change the player's position in other presets? That might be a little bit too advanced for this conversation. explain that. Beebs, who's winning VTL 8? Global. Who's winning the Euro? Is Italy still in it? No. Is Germany still in it?
Clueless.
Beebs, explain that you will call them gay for a 90+5 change. I mean, if we get to 90+5, okay, here's the thing. It's not that I'm going to call you gay for taking it for taking a voluntary or changing things late in a match. It's just way more times than not it doesn't actually matter. Now on PES 16 specifically, I actually won't call you gay for making a late match change, because I actually, let's see, this would have been the first time that GFG played on PES 16. This might have been like VGL 13 or something. Week 1. We were tied, I think, and it was after. Wait, hang on. I need to confirm this now if I'm going to talk about it. But I believe we were tied with TF2, maybe. Hang on. Fuck me. I can't. Yes. Here it is. Yes, we were tied with TF2. We had just scored at 90+0 to tie things up. And I thought, this is great. This bad boy is in the bag. We're taking a point out of this bad boy when I thought we were going to lose. And there was a pause. TF2 took their concession, and I thought, these dumbasses, like these morons, they're making changes at 90+. Like, the match is over. Nothing's gonna happen. They went to they ran like 7 niggas forward, like many in attack, few in defense. Like, they ran max attack, and they got a winner at 90+1. Like, it was immediate. And so, no, I will not give you any kind of shit at all for making changes late in a match in PES 16. PES 16 loves goals after 90. Well, that was the trip down memory lane. Anybody got anything else? Who's winning Lord of the Board 3? The Texas Rattlesnake. Beebs, how do I make my team win? Who's your team?
Do the opposite of whatever Beebs is about to say.
Yeah, no, you don't want to take tactics advice from me. There's a reason why I'm on this side of the. There's a reason why I'm on this side of the screen these days. Do you take bribes in ARGs? I'm trying to remember what ARGs are. Is that Argentinian currency? Oh, okay. No, that actually is what he meant, but he fucked it up because it's actually ours. Wow, incredible stuff. All right, well, I don't think if nobody has any more real questions. Well, yeah, that's what I knew ARGs as, is alternate reality games, but I knew that he didn't mean that.
Yeah, how would you get paid in that?
Yeah, no idea. Pay me in marble hornets. What does the S and R stand for? Does it stand for anything? No, it must stand for something.
Like plural.
Argentinian Real Sense with an S. Okay, I think we're probably done here. Like, I could sit and just like shoot the shit and yap forever, but I don't want to do that, and I'm sure everybody wants to get on with their lives. If I don't know. But if you have any questions, if you have any questions regarding live management stuff, IRC, basically any of the stuff that we discussed today, feel free to DM me, ask me, whatever, and we can go over it. Oh wait, is it allowed to do stupid shit like change the CF for the keeper? As long as it's allowed within the rules, I mean, that's what I am constrained by. I can make whatever changes you want as long as they are within the rules. That's the big thing. Yeah, don't throw. Like, come on, don't be that way. But yeah, I mean, as long as it falls within the rules, I can do whatever. Tactical swap GK for gold. Can't do it. You're not allowed to have a gold keeper. That is one of the rules. I don't know if, I mean, I assume that's a rule in VT League as well. I know it is for 4CC and VGL, but yeah, I'm assuming that there's just like a general global rule against having gold keepers. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much for joining me here in the booth, Shanaha, and thank you very much to everyone in chat for bearing with me while I discuss what is, let's be real, a pretty dry topic, but it is something that I feel is important to talk about. That way we can everybody can kind of know what the deal is. Can we do this again next week? Why would we do it again next week?
Because I guarantee you, everybody will, like, you're gonna need it. Like, no matter what, no matter how in depth you go, people are still gonna fuck up.
No. The thing is, after this weekend, live management is banished to the Shadow Realm again. Like, it's over again. Wait, I didn't even notice. Did we lose the Sonic R soundtrack? What happened? Oh. There we go. Yeah, we did. The video I was watching ended. Okay. Where is the after show? This was the after show. This was VT League podcast version 0.5 or whatever. All right. Signing off. Goodbye, everyone. Best of luck to everybody on your live management adventures. Like I said, if you have any questions, you know where I am. You know how to get a hold of me. Feel free to ask. I'll answer. You ask. And yeah, don't wait till the last minute on that IRC shit. Figure it out, because like I said, no Discord, no nothing. Figure it out. Ask if you don't know.